Hello, good morning students of class 12 commerce. Welcome to Pandra sir's virtual class on development economics. And in the last couple of classes we are discussing the chapter poverty. Today we will continue. In our last class we discussed about the characteristic of poverty or poor people, and today we are going to discuss the measures of poverty. The measures of poverty in the sense, what is the criterion, what is the basis that we term a person as poor or non-poor. So here there are two different measures of poverty, that is absolute poverty and relative poverty. So one by one we will discuss both the points. First come to absolute poverty. So as you know that a person is called poor if he is not able, if he is not earning enough to afford the basic amenities of life. And when we speak about basic amenities of life, the most important thing that we need for our survival is food. Hence, when we think about absolute poverty, we just calculate the food requirement of a person, and that also differs from place to place. That is, means it is different in rural areas and it is different in urban areas. Why? Because their lifestyle, their activities are totally different. So, what is the capacity or what is the limit of absolute poor in rural areas? You can see here that if a person is not able to earn enough to purchase food that will give him 2400 calories. This is for rural areas. You need to remember this number, that in rural area, if someone is not able to eat foods which will give him 2400 calories, and or he is not earning a monthly income of 672 rupees and 80 paise. That is the requirement. That much money we need at least to afford every day 2400 calories giving food. This is for rural area. So that person will be termed as poor in rural area or absolute poor in rural area if he is not purchasing food that will give him 2400 calories, or if he is not earning a monthly income of 672 rupees and 80 paise. However, the monthly income figure changes from year to year due to the change in the value of our domestic currency. And for urban area, a person is called absolutely poor if he is not able to purchase food or eat food that will give him 2100 calories. And why this difference? That in rural areas it is 2400 calorie and in urban area it is 2100 calorie. The reason behind it is that of course our rural people do more manual work, that's why they need more calorie, and our urban people do comparatively less manual work. That's why for urban area it is 2100 calories, and if we consider its cost monthly expenditure, that comes around 859 rupees and 60 paise. Hence, in urban area, if a person is not getting a monthly income of 859 rupees and 60 paise, then he will be termed as absolutely poor. So this is the criterion, this is that is calorie requirement and monthly income. On this basis, we consider a person to be poor or non-poor. Now come to relative poverty. This is quite a confusing concept, just try to understand it. Relative poverty means when we make a different group of people, might it be on the basis of their caste, on the basis of their locality. For example, Sindhis, Marwadis are usually businessmen. Their economic power is more than some other group of people. So this is how we made two different groups of people. We divided the population into different groups and we compare their what economic status. So relative poverty is measured by making groups. That is, we can say that people of India are poorer than people of US. Why? Because per capita income in US is far more than per capita income in India. So a very staggering figure is there that in India the top 25% of people earn or share or take around 46.2% of our total GDP, and the bottom 20% of people, they get around 8.5% of our GDP. So you can see clearly the difference between different group of people. Here we groupify the population into top earning group and the bottom earning group. So hence we can say here that the bottom earning group are poorer than, far more poorer than the top earning group. So this is the concept of relative poverty. So after understanding what is absolute poverty and what is relative poverty, let us come to the categories of poverty. Means how we categorize all the poor people who stay in our country, in our nation, in our economy. So the population who are called poor differ in their status. Some are very poor, some are just marginally poor. So here comes the term chronic poor. So this is a group of people. You can see this diagram. This is poverty line. Poverty line means a line that indicates the monthly income or calorie requirement. Means if someone is earning below the poverty line, that means he is not able to purchase the calorie requirement. And if someone is remaining just over the poverty line, then he is earning more than what calorie requirement he has. So as you can see here, chronic poor, this graph, this curvy line, it states chronic poor CP, and this is poverty line. So the status of chronic poor is that they always remain below the poverty line. That means they are never in their lifetime able to earn the minimum food requirement or calorie requirement. That's why their status remains always below the poverty line. So next to it coming transient poor. So which group are called transient poor? As it is evident from this diagram that what we can see here is that the status, economic status of transient poor is very fluctuating. Sometimes they are found below the poverty line and sometimes they are found above the poverty line. So it always fluctuates, go up and comes down, go up and comes down. In this way, the 3P, that is transient poor, are always moving above and below the poverty line. They never have a stable economic status. And non-poor, as it is evident in this diagram, you can see that they always remain above the poverty line. They are always earning more than what calorie requirement they have. So this is different categories of poor, that is chronic poor, transient poor and non-poor. Now come to the concept that what are the reasons that why at all there is poverty in a nation? Why there is poverty, or why some people are not able to earn sufficient for their requirement and some people earn more? The reason behind is that reasons of poverty, the first point is unemployment. If a person is not employed, then he doesn't have a source of income. That's why he remains always below the poverty line and he is termed as poor. Then the second point is poor skill and of the labor force. Labor force, it is the number of people who are able and willing to work. Once again I repeat the statement, labor force. It is the number of people who are able and willing to work. But the labor force is different from workforce. When it comes to the term workforce, it is the number of people who are able and willing to work at the existing wage rate, and in fact actually who are working. I am able to work and I am willing to work at the existing wage rate, but I am unemployed. So I will be a member of the labor force, but I will not be a member of the workforce. That's the difference between workforce and labor force. So poor skill of our labor force. We usually, before also we have discussed that the people who are poor are usually very poor in skill. They don't have some skill that they can encash and earn more. That's why they remain poor. Then lack of mobility. As their economic status is far below, it doesn't allow them to go far away places where they will find a job. In fact, their mobility is their mobility is very limited. Then the fourth point, high growth rate of population. What happens? Even if our GDP is increasing at a very great rate, but when it comes to per capita income, we have to divide the GDP with our population, which is ever increasing, not increasing. Almost it is exploding. Population explosion. So due to that great increase rate of population, all the effort of the government, that is all the development in our GDP status is getting nullified. That is high growth rate of population. The next point is discrimination and fundamentalism. You see, some group and some people are there who usually discriminate and shows orthodox attitude. Like suppose you come to Muslim community, they would allow their daughters to go to attend schools or try for a job. So this orthodoxy, this fundamentalism, this type of discrimination makes people poor. And the last point is wrong government policy. If government policy is not proper, if government policy is defective, whatever it may be, whatever may be the reason, the defective government policy cannot generate more income, hence the GDP growth rate is always not satisfactory, and that gives birth to more and more poor people. So these are the reasons of poverty. So today we discussed about the measures of poverty, that is absolute poverty and relative poverty, and we came across a number of data. Then we discussed about categories of poverty, and at last we discussed the regions of poverty with the diagram along with the definition of a poverty line, which is, what is poverty line? It is nothing but the graphical representation of per capita income of an economy or of a nation. So this much for today. Tomorrow we'll continue, because it is a long chapter. We'll continue, and if you are getting any doubt, please consult me. Thank you and have a nice day.